Something came up in a private session recently, and we want to discuss it with you right off the bat, and that is there was some kind of misunderstanding that someday you are going to get somewhere ascended, and then once you were ascended, you would know what to do. You would know how to be. It would all make sense. Now, let's just back all the way up and remind you, you are here to experience here. You are here to be in the experience that you are in. You are here to become that which you are growing into. It is not that you get to the finish line and then understand. It is that you walk the race or the road or the run or whatever you're calling what you're doing. And that process is what gives you the growth your soul desires. It is the journey, not the destination. A way Elohim likes to say it, which we find rather clever, is that when you go to Disneyland, you don't immediately walk in the front door and go stand by the exit and wait for 5 o'clock to arrive. It's not getting out of the place on time. That's the purpose. The purpose is the experience of being there and riding the rides and doing all the crazy things you like to do, like eat strange foods and hang out with people in large costumes. Things like that. That is interesting. We have to say, someone wearing a costume suddenly becomes a completely new experience. We're not going to go there tonight. We could though, but we're not going to. You are not here for the conclusion. You are not here because at some point you will ascend. You are not here just waiting. And if you are here just waiting, you are missing the whole point. And also you're missing what you're waiting for. You can't get to what you're waiting for unless you do today, this moment. That's why we're always trying to bring you back to the moment. Because this moment is the moment where things are occurring. This moment is the place where things can happen. The only place anything's going on is right now. And now, and now, and now, and now.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Randy and I are kind of trying to eliminate sandpaper people in our lives. Should we try to keep them around? Do we need the
No,
sandpaper people?
you don't kind of keep around. We don't keep sandpaper people around, but we don't run away from them either. That's the guardians we're talking about. You don't just push them off to the side and pretend they don't exist. You say, front and center. Pull them front and center, you energetically. You pull them front and center and you say, what is going on? What is the deal here? What are you teaching me? What are you showing me? And am I done? And because you love yourselves, you can also say, whatever I have to learn from you, I want to learn from somebody else who's less sandpapery than you. Just like all your stuff that you skip goes right back in the queue and comes up again, you can purposely skip an experience and ask for it to come up again in a way that is less harsh. The only people who ever pull this off are people who really do love themselves, though. Because you have to believe you deserve that. You have to believe you deserve to have somebody less harsh come along and show you this. When it comes back and it's less harsh, Veronica's freaking out because this just happened to her yesterday. She's going, oh my God, that's what that was. When it comes back and it's less harsh, then you have to be the one who stays in the moment about it and doesn't go back to interacting with it from the harsh place. Remember the thing we said about the ex-boyfriends pounding on the door, and is it the 5-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 20-year-old, or the 40-year-old that answers? When you say, you're a goddamn sandpaper person and I've had it with you, I don't want to deal with you anymore, but this issue I will take responsibility for. I will take responsibility and own the fact that this is my shit. But I want it to come back in a way that's less harsh. When it comes back around, because it's connected energetically to harshness, the temptation is to react as this person over here, not your current person. Only you can be the person who makes that choice. And as Veronica would tell you, if she were allowed to talk right now, it was hard. But knowing this person is not being harsh. They are just showing me what I need to see or what I've desired to see or what I've signed up for to see was the path through it. But the connection to, quote, bad memories was very strong because it was a harsh issue. So that's why we said the only way you can trade in somebody for somebody less harsh is if you love yourself and if you're disciplined. Because if you love yourself, you'll say, I deserve it. And if you're disciplined, when it happens, you will make the choice to react as the April 14th, 2010 you, rather than as the God knows how many times. It comes around to loving yourself, and you're like, I know everything about me. How can I love me when I know all my little dirty secrets? How can I love me when I know my flaws? If anyone else knew all this about me, I doubt they could love me. How am I supposed to love me when I know all this about me? And that's the problem here. The barrier from you loving yourself is that you know everything about you. And that makes you think that there's a reason why you shouldn't love yourself. You know everything about you, therefore you have the possibility to love yourself more. It's not people love you because they don't know who you are. They love you because they're knowing you. You can love yourself more deeply because you know yourself even more. And with consciousness and free will, you're able to say, I know myself. And like Elohim was saying, you're accepting what's true in the moment, and then you have the opportunity to transform it. Well, if you find yourself saying, well, yeah, I love myself, but I can't love myself super deeply because I know about this little hidden secret I have. Well, if your little hidden secret keeps you from loving yourself, then that's the first place you want to work on, transforming your relationship to your hidden secret. Now, what if you say, oh, but I did something when I was in my 20s and I don't think I'll ever forgive myself? Okay, start there. That place that you think would make you unlovable if someone new is the first place you want to work on so that you can free up more love for yourself. Loving yourself well is your primary responsibility. Everything comes from loving yourself well, really. Ascension comes from loving yourself well because then you love yourself enough to live in the moment. You see, if you don't love yourself well, the moment's a scary place because you're afraid of your own company. But when you love yourself well, you're able to be in your own company in a deeper way, which means the moment's no longer frightening. And if the moment's no longer frightening, you have the ability to deeply experience the ascended state. So whatever you think, that if somebody knew they wouldn't love you, that's the first place you want to do your spiritual work. Now, what do? You look at it and you see if you can say, okay, it is true. If you can just start with, it is true. Don't run off into the past or the future with, oh God, why did I do it? Or, oh my God, how can I not do it again? Or how can I change? Don't just, those short factual statements. It is true. And just sit with the truth of it. Sit with the truth of it. Watch where you want to run into the past or the future and come back to the truth. This is why it's good to write these short factual statements down or type them so that you can come back to them more easily. And you don't have to keep rephrasing it or wondering, how did I say it that time? Short factual statements of stating the truth so that you can come back to it. Whatever it is that you feel is unlovable about you, make a short factual statement about it and then come back to it, come back to it, come back to it. Watch yourself run with it and then come back to it.